So the thing with shonen protagonists that people look at them from the outside and they say, oh, they are all similar, they're the same archetype, or it's just the same person. They say, oh, I want to become the wizarding king or the mage dad or all of this. And it always seems to me that is like a false view of it and does not tell the whole story. That always seems so from the outside. But if you actually take the time to look at them, to watch the series, watch the shows, you actually discover that a lot of these people have their own characteristics. A lot of these characters have their own special traits that make them unique, ranging from Luffy to Goku to Naruto. Each of them have their own character traits, and there are certain things that cut across all of them, but each of them have something unique about them that makes them stand out, that makes them memorable to other people. But that's not the case of the person I want to talk about today, which is Izuku Midoriya, also known as Deku. So what I want to talk about today is how I feel like there is nothing special about Deku, both in universe and out of universe. There's really nothing special about him because he started when the show first of all began. He showed a lot of promise, but he hasn't delivered on any of the promise that he showed on. And now I know you might be wondering, what am I talking about? So let me explain. Let's first say out of universe. I say out of universe. Let's say compare him. Let me compare Midoriya to other shonen protagonists. And when I do that, I see that there's nothing that really makes him stand out, nothing that is uniquely Midoriya's. Let's just say he has that typical thing of, okay, two good shonen protagonists wants to help everybody, but that's just about it, about the cool, and that's like the base minimum of any, or like of most shonen protagonists. That's like the base minimum, being of good character, being good nature, trying to help people. That's the base minimum. And we have to check now with the other shonen anime. He's never the best at doing it. I'll say someone like Tanjiro. If you want to take new anime, new generation anime, someone like Tanjiro is a better two shows protagonist. That is a better one and is a more memorable one, just because of the way he's written, just because of the drama that he's involved with. And you have to compare that trait to someone like, they say, Alan Walker. Alan Walker too, from Digreman. He's also like somewhat of a goody two shoes character, tries to help people and all those things. But there's also a lot of complexity, a lot of depth to his character. But none of that is found in Deku. His whole character trait just resides to, he wants to be a hero and he wants to help people. That is good nature. That is all his character trait boils down to, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about. I want to say that does not really do much to differentiate him from the rest of the shonen protagonists. And to me, what is really carrying My Hero Academia, what for carrying My Hero Academia in the first half was All Might, and what is carrying it now is a supporting cast, because Deku really leaves much to be desired. Like I say again, I would like to reiterate this point. I say again, look at other people. Luffy, but Luffy is a good natured person. But he has a lot of other characteristics that make him very special. Naruto too, especially Kid Naruto. Kid Naruto had a side of confidence. He's also good natured. He want to help people, and he also had a kind of confidence about him, like he'll just be shouting at everybody, "I want to be Okage" and all those things. And he also had a goal. And Midoriya does not have a goal. That's what it's saying. Midoriya does not drive the plot of the series. Things don't happen because, in fact, things don't happen because of him. Most of the things happen to him. And that's one thing that is also making that really soils his character. Most of the things happen to him. I mean, sure that sometimes when he drives the plot, but a lot of things happen to him. All Might just happens to stumble upon him, and yes, because All Might just happens to stumble upon him through coincidence, and then chooses him as a host of All for One. And I think My Hero Academia is one of the only series I've seen where they constantly have to justify that the protagonist is the protagonist. They constantly have to make excuses why Deku was the person that you had to choose as the protagonist. And someone that side characters often, like, it's not the first time that side characters outshine the main characters, but in Deku's case, it's really alarming. Like, I'll take for example, they made the whole arc, like, because since then people were not even convinced, people in the series and most people out there, they're not really convinced that he's the right successor for All for One. So they made a whole arc to show that no, actually he's a true successor with Mirio. But many his detractors, the people who did not support, came out of the acts reinforced in the ideas that no, he does not merit all for one, and which is very funny. And so the author does not live there. He's now going out with this, he now say all the quirk singularity and all those things, which is not really, which I'm not really buying, and that's really holding the series back. So now that I've done talking about why, out of universe he's not special, I want to talk about he's not special even in the universe, because Deku is not the only good-natured person in My Hero Academia. Even though My Hero Academia is full of heroes, heroes are also part of a job and they also earn money, so they might be incentive and all those things. But Deku is not the only good-natured person in My Hero Academia. If you check a lot of the stories of his classmates, they're also very relatable, because people say, oh, they like the same because it's relatable and all those things, which I don't find it that see which I don't find it that relatable. But if you want to really break down that, there can be something kind of narcissistic about the way he goes about things. Because Deku says he wants to be a hero. He wants to be, when he gets his quirk, he's going to be a hero. Now he comes out, now he doesn't have a quirk. So what does he do? He continues on his dream to be a hero. But if he really wanted to help people, even though if he really wanted to help people, he could have gone into like police work. He could have joined the committee. He could have joined an agency as a support person. He could have used his analytical skills in that point. But he only wanted to be a hero. So there's something a little bit dark about it, that he wasn't satisfied unless he was a superhero with costume, with powers, and all those things, which was very bizarre. You can see it as childlike innocence, but also see a little bit of narcissism inside. And the reason why I don't relate too much to Deku story is that, to me, people who overcome hardship are more inspiring than people who just have things handed to them. Because they say he earned it, but I don't know. I don't know if Deku was really the best. And the author also pulls a fast one and say, okay, no, that the quirk similarity would have ended up killed the whole, so the person had to be quirkless and all those things. But I'll just leave that one for the side now. But if Deku was so good natured, he could have found other ways. Let's say he could have overcome the adversity and found other ways. If he became a superhero like Batman, he doesn't have powers, but he's just using gadgets, illusions, techniques, and then he's taking down big foes. He could have been the underdog in all those stories, and that would have been far more this thing. The power gap, the power difference would have been far greater, than far more interesting than what eventually happened. But no, he just had to be a hero, costume, superpowers, the whole shabangs, which makes me, where once you go past the innocent child like this thing, it makes you really question. There's a thought of relativity, because people say, oh, they like his story because it is not cartoonishly, it's not cartoonishly sad like other people's things. But you gotta meet people who have backstories who are also very cartoonishly sad, like Todoroki. Had an abusive father with this thing, and yes, there's a lot more sad with this thing. So if you have to, there's a lot more sad. And Todoroki was a far more interesting character than Deku, because he has inner conflict that is always dealing inner personnel. He has things at home. So he's also very good natured. He's also very good natured. Like Deku, I don't see what makes Deku so, like the same thing with Ida. Even though Ida had that whole spell, but that just makes Ida that whole spell with like the whole real killer when he was full vengeance. But that also makes Ida more interesting as a character, because he has found his darkness and he has dealt with it. But Deku only walks around, oh, I want to save people, oh, I want to save people, and that doesn't make him specially anyway. And the thing is, Deku doesn't really have any goals. Like All Might, even though he was quirkless, All Might had an ideal which he was striving for. He took on the ultimate evil in All for One, and won. And he became a symbol of peace and ideal. He became a whole deterrent to this thing. So there's a lot more complexity and depth to his character, and he's also very good natured. And now, what am I trying to say is that I don't say Deku is like the wicked. He has become, over time of the series, where he started with so much potential, over time he has become the weakest link of the series. While if many people who watch, anyway, in my case, for me, let me not just generalize it, because there are many people who see like Deku, but I don't think Deku is that good of a protagonist. I don't think there's anything special about him, and I don't think he should have been chosen for One for All. And they always talk about actors having plot armor. In Deku's case, the whole plot armor comes to the fact that he was chosen to be the protagonist at the first place. And like I said, he's a passive character. He doesn't drive the plot most of the time. He doesn't drive the plot forward, and it's things that happen to him. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Do you agree with me? Put your comments down below. If you like the video, stay around and I'll post more. See you later. Peace.